All right, offensive line coach Herb Hand. First of all, good to talk to you again. Let me go right out of the gate with this. And I talked with Marcellus Marshall about this a little bit on Monday. Under Coach Malzahn, there's been a lot of, in the offseason having to rebuild and get guys in from the transfer portal. And then, I'm not going to say reset, but definitely have an element of like building chemistry again with this group. Now you're looking to do it again for another year. Because you've done it so much, I think it's kind of getting forgotten that that's part of the process. But like, how big are you involved in that, or what? How important is that? We'll start with that.
Well, it's not as big of a reset as it might maybe seem, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we have 4 guys returning who all have started multiple games here. And that's not counting Paul. Paul's played a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been a starter yet, but has played a bunch for us. But between Kittler and Adrian Medley and Marcellus and Amari Kite, 4 guys who have started numerous games here. And then we've added in 3 guys from the transfer portal who were multi-year starters at their previous institutions. Okay, Wes Dorsey at Western Kentucky, and Jabari Brooks from Sanford, and Keegan Smith, who just got here in May from Central Michigan. And those guys are all multi-year starters at their previous places as well. Have played in big games, have seen things and done things. They have a lot of banked reps. Okay. And then you have the guys who've developed within the program, right? Paul, Rubel, Cam, Kinney, okay? Those guys and I know I don't want to forget anybody, but so we have a good mix of veterans and guys who've played a lot, guys who've had multi-games starting here, multi-year starting at their previous places, and other guys who have developed through a lot of reps here. So it's not as big of a rebuild as it might seem. I mean, obviously we miss, Lokai, and we miss Tylen, and we miss Ed Collins, and we miss Bula and Drake and the guys who've left, right? We miss those guys, but we have good quality guys that have come up through and have gone through spring practices and have been through some battles together. So, I mean, is there some question marks? Sure, but maybe not as big as it might seem.
Or as it's been in other years past, for example.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. That's a fair point you make there. And let me add this too, because we were talking about chemistry. I was talking with Marcellus. He mentioned he got a new smoker, and a lot of the way you guys build camaraderie is getting some food and some cooking in. Let me lead with this, because is there any advice you would give Marcellus now that he's got a smoker, something he should do or be aware of as he's getting going? And I might be taking notes too, Coach. Let me tell you.
Well, he doesn't want to. Don't get some work in on the smoker before you try to work a brisket. Brisket's a whole different. That's like.
That's not the first time I've heard that either.
That's doctoral level stuff. Working a brisket, it's different cut of meat. Obviously, you can build yourself up to that. Maybe start out with some ribs, and work that angle first, the pork butt. But before you start, don't just slap a brisket on there for the first time and think it's going to work.
Let's not try to dunk from the free throw line in the first game. Okay, that makes sense. Well, and you mentioned like what these guys do together off the field and how they kind of build chemistry. Is there anything you do? Are there any special drills? Is there any special kind of fun stuff you guys do as a group? To kind of get fraternity in there?
My wife and I enjoy having the guys over the house.
Oh, okay.
They when we can, we get them to come over. I got a nice setup in the backyard, and getting the guys over there. They're playing cornhole, and we've got a pool, and I got a little basketball hoop, which I always worry turns into murder ball or whatever when they all get in the pool together. But no, just that. The away from the facility stuff. And those guys do a great job on their own with it. I mean, they really truly love one another. They enjoy being around each other. You know, I think Adrian Medley and Cheetos, when Cheetos was here, and Ed Collins, you know, they have a little apartment set up, and you know, those guys would have cookouts and things of that nature over there on their own, and all the linemen would be over there together because they really enjoy being with each other, you know, and that type of brotherhood, you know, is something that it takes time to develop it, but our culture in our room, that's what it's built on.
Well, and it translates to trust of, hey, you know, hey, that guy's going to get his stunt, I can believe him, that kind of
Absolutely.
thing. Got time for more, Adam? Okay. If there was a thing you're going to be most excited about this season, what would you say is going to be coming up here in 24?
That's a tough one there. There's a lot of things to be excited about.
Absolutely.
But I think just, you know, being our second year in the Big 12 and you know, watching the development from year 1 to year 2, and as a program, the program development from year 1 to year 2, you know, and all of the great players that we have on our roster now, getting an opportunity to see those guys get out and do what they do, you know. Really excited about that. Watching our players go and compete again, and you know, we're only playing 2 teams that we played last year, so it's almost like being in an entirely new league again. But that part of it as well, you know, is playing against new people and seeing new places.
Coach, we're up against the clock. I'd love to ask you
no worries.